Good morning and welcome to the Covert Knits podcast. My name is Abigail Covert. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is my knitting podcast where I talk all about my current projects, whips, stash acquisition. It is Sunday, July 19th, and I am coming to you from Omaha, Nebraska. You can find me online as at covert_knits on Instagram and covert knits on Ravelry. I also have an email address that you can find. It's omahaKnitNight@gmail.com. All of that is listed below in the description box where I list all of my show notes. So anything I talk about in this podcast, if I can find a link for it, it's listed down there. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can leave a comment here on YouTube, send me a message on Instagram, or send me an email. Today we're going to talk about finished objects, which includes what I'm wearing, and I have 4 whips for you to chat about today. One of them is a new cast on. I have tons and tons of stash enhancement, which I talked about last week. I ordered a whole bunch of stuff, and I have yarn and just a whole bunch of goodies and bags to show. I did quite a bit of shopping in the past few weeks. And then I want to chat a little bit about my knitting goals for the week and one new podcast that I'm really excited about. And that should wrap us up for the week. So we're going to jump right in with what I'm wearing. We'll talk about the t-shirt in just a moment. This is my Stand in the Gap t-shirt from Gigi Made It, but I'll chat more about that at the end of the episode in stash enhancement because I have more things from her. My finished object, is my Wave of Change jacket by Denise Bayron of Bayron Handmade. This is my linen version of this jacket. It was originally knit in wool, and then the designer, knit a linen version that I just loved, and it was knit out of yarn that I already had some of in my stash, so I bought a little bit more. I used 11 skeins of, this is Quince & Co. Kestrel. It's 100% organic linen. This is colorway 508, which is Ebb Tide. Again, I used 11 skeins of it. I had 13, so I still have about 100 grams, which is 2 50-gram skeins of it left. Not really sure what I'll do with that. I love this project. It was very quick. I started on July 4th, and I finished it on July 17th. So let me stand up, give you the full view of it. It's a very boxy, cropped, excuse the cat fur, jacket. You'll see it does not, and I liked that for the linen weight version. I probably will make my wool one a little bit longer, but for the linen one, I really loved how lightweight it is, and how short, and I'm just going to throw it over. I have a couple of black tops, black dresses, that this is a perfect summer lightweight jacket. You can put, it's a buttonless button band, but you can put snaps on here if you wanted. I feel like for the linen, that would just weigh it down, so I'm going to leave it open. The pattern for this, it is a paid for pattern. I believe it was $9. It is worth every penny. I would have paid more for it. It is beautifully written, well executed, easy to follow. Every technique is clearly explained. There's video links for some techniques if you need help. It is a very good beginner garment project if you're looking for one. I really enjoyed it, and I felt like it was totally worth the money. I'm a big advocate for paying for patterns. I use free patterns. I think I have at least 2 in my works in progress, but paying designers for their work is really important, and I'm willing to pay a little bit more, knowing that it has been looked over, test knit, tech edited, and all of that costs money to a designer. I want to make sure that they're being compensated for all of their work. So yes, this is a paid for pattern, beautiful. I would highly suggest purchasing it. I will be making another one, as I said, out of wool. I have the yarn already up in my stash over there. So it's a fantastic make, and it was really quick. This yarn is a worsted, almost an Aran weight. The pattern does call for a bulky weight, but I did use the needles called for in the pattern, which are size 9 and 10, 9 for the ribbing, 10 for the body, and didn't alter any of the numbers because you all know I hate math. So So I just knit as instructed, every last instruction, followed it to a T, and it worked perfectly. And it is exactly what I want. So that is my Wave of Change jacket. All right, I've got my notes here. I don't want to forget anything. Let's move on to works in progress. So, my first work in progress, I'm going to take a sip of water here. Okay, my first work in progress is my In the Light shawl by Day-Crosier, which this got a little bit of work this week, not a whole lot. Truth be told, most of my work went into this, finishing up this project. So this is being housed in one of my Lila Styles bags. One of the Gilmore Girls themed Lila Styles bags. I love this canvas bag. Okay. So this project, I am struggling today, folks. Not the prettiest right now. Man. Okay. So I believe I was just starting the yellow and yellow section last week, and I have gotten to the point where it's hard to tell. There's not a huge contrast, but I'm adding. Ooh, excuse me. I am adding in the white or the cream. So this one's coming along. I'm hoping to focus a little bit on this one this week. I love this yarn. This is Leadingman Fiber Arts. It's their Show Stealer base. It's their MCN, and it's in colorways Envy, Rubber Ducky, and this one is Nude Scene. So I'm hoping to get a little bit more work on this. I'm using this as my entry for the Needles at the Ready podcast. Those guys are running a knit along. It's the Let's Hear It for the Boys knit along. And I believe that ends the end of this month. So I want to get this finished up so that I can have a finished object to enter for their knit along. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. It's very popcorn knitting, easy to just do a few rows. The pattern is pretty repeatable. It's very repeatable. It is a paid for pattern. I'm not sure what the cost is, but it's a great pattern. This is the fringed option. I know I've said that before. It does come with a non-fringed and a fringed option. This one has the fringe built into it. So when I'm done with the knitting portion, I'll come back and drop part of these stitches and create the fringe. I've knit one of these before, and I have yarn wound up to knit another one. This one will be for me. The previous one I knit, I'm not sure if it'll be a gift or not, and the next one I knit is for sure a gift. So it's a great, easy gift knit, and honestly, all three of the ones that I'll have made this year are all yarn from Stash. So it's a great stash buster. It uses 2 or 3 fingering weight yarns held double. So you use up most of the skeins of yarn, so it's a great way to bust through. And because you're using the fingering weight held double, it knits up pretty quickly as a worsted, and you're knitting it on size, I think they're size 7s or 8s, I'm not sure, whatever the pattern calls for. So it knits up very quickly. So that is my In the Light shawl. Again, I'm hoping to get more work on that this week. Excuse me while I bend down to pick up all the stuff I dropped. Okay, let's put this away, and I will show you. This is the tag for Leadingman Fiber Arts. That's an old tag. They have since put out a new tag. Okay. So my second work in progress. I'm dropping stuff all over the place, you guys. I have so much yarn here to show you. It's insane. Okay. So my next work in progress is my Sockhead Slouch hat. This is a free pattern by McClure, and it is designed to use up a skein of fingering weight yarn that you might not want to use for socks. and I loved this yarn, and I would make socks out of it, but in the past I've made socks out of something that had a creamy white base, and it ended very badly. So I decided that I love this yarn so much that I want to make sure that I use it for something that won't get quite so dirty. This is Marianthi Yarns. It's her 85% merino superwash extra fine, 15% nylon. The colorway on this is Kaleidoscope. I'm affectionately calling this my funfetti hat. So you do 4 inches of 2x2 ribbing, and then I'm doing the medium size, which calls for 8 inches of stockinette after the ribbing. I've got about 5.5 inches of stockinette. So this has been my knit night project because I'm just stockinette in the round till I get to the decreases. It's very soothing and mindless, and I can chat and talk to everyone and not have to look at what I'm knitting. So it's been great for that. So I expect probably between the 2 knit nights I have this week, or I think actually I have 3 going on this week, I'll probably be able to get this hat finished up for sure. This is knit on, I think it's US 2.5, it's 3 millimeter, and then my stoppers are from Cocoa Knits. And I don't use stoppers all the time, but on this project I found that the needles and the yarn are playing havoc together, so they need to be stopped. This is being housed in my Birdleg Bags. She no longer makes bags, but it's her boxy bag. It's eggs on the outside and cute little bacon strips on the inside. And it has a little egg there. And then it also has my Leonardo DiCaprio pen. I don't know who made this. It was a gift from my sister, and I think she said her friend made it. So it is not linked below, but for those of you that don't know, I'm a big Leonardo DiCaprio fan. So I've had that for years. All right, so moving on to whip number 3. The pattern is Blueberry Waffle Socks by Sandy Turner. And these are just my socks to have on the go. Last time I had just finished the cuff, so again, I worked on these a little bit during one of my knit nights. I always like to just have a pair of socks on the needles. You'll probably see these a couple times. I just wanted to show these because I did get some done. This is a free pattern. I am using Blue Moon Fiber Arts Socks That Rock Lightweight in the colorway Let Your Love Light Shine. So it's all these bright, fun neons. It is pooling and flashing. So, which that's fine with me. I don't mind that. I'm knitting 2 at a time. These are US 1.5. They're 2.5 millimeter. This is a 40-inch cable. I knit from the inside and the outside of the ball at the same time because I'm too lazy to wind this up into 2 balls. And I think that's all I have to say about that project. It is being housed in my Whimsy Stitches Pride bag, which has it has my Neighborhood Fiber Company and my Shelly Can pins on there. So that is that. And my 4th whip is my new cast on. And it is for the Quiet Queers Craftalong, which is this is the 2nd year it's running. It is a Craftalong that was created last year as a way for people that maybe aren't comfortable being in large outdoor spaces with a lot of people, going to Pride like that, but they can still celebrate Pride at home. And this year we're all celebrating Pride. We all celebrated Pride at home. So they are running the Craftalong this year from July 13th through September 13th, and anyone can enter, whether you're a member of the queer community or a straight ally. The rules are all over on their Quiet Queers Craftalong Instagram, but you need to be using yarn or other materials from queer makers, or your pattern needs to be from a queer designer. So this is my entry for that. This is my Kingston tunic, which I've just gotten started here. It is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. And for this, the reason it makes it my entry is that I am using a farm yarn. It's 100% lamb's wool. I believe it's Rommeldale, though when I went to look at my receipt, I didn't specify the breed, but I'm pretty sure when I purchased it on the website, that's what it was. And I purchased this from the Foggy Bottoms Boys Farm, and I've linked their website in the show notes. They have an Instagram account. That's where I had heard about them, and they are an organic farm in Northern California. They raise all kinds of animals and produce dairy and meat and wool and lots of other things. So I purchased this directly from them, and they are a queer couple farming in Northern California. So they qualify, at least according to my standards, they qualify as a queer maker. So I love how soft this yarn is. I've just completed the, it's a split hem, it's a bottom up tunic, and then I've just done 2 repeats of the patterning on the body. So I have quite a bit of yarn for this. This is not a super size inclusive pattern. I'm making the largest size, which is the extra large, which finished bust measurement is 58 inches. This pattern is supposed to have something like 10 to 17 inches of positive ease. At 58 inches, it will have 4 to 6 inches of positive ease on me, which is perfectly fine. That's about what I would want. I prefer not to have so much positive ease, but if you are a larger size and you're knitting the pattern with the idea of having that positive ease, this pattern is not size inclusive. I know Andrea Mowry's newer patterns are, and I think she's gone back to make some of her previous patterns size inclusive. This, so far as I can tell, is not one of them. So I just like to point that out. I do try to knit size inclusive patterns when I can, and again, it does go up to a 58-inch bust. I prefer patterns have at least a 60-inch bust with the positive ease included. So anyway, that is kind of a downside of this pattern, but I do love it. This yarn was purchased for this pattern, so I'm going to knit it. I just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that. So anyway, that is my new cast on. It's humming along. This knit along goes until September 13th. So while I am working on this, it is not priority number 1. It's just something that I'm just kind of plugging away on. So I've got time on that. So that is it for my works in progress. I will move on to stash acquisition, and we're going to do that, excuse me, with the bag that my Quiet Queers Craftalong product is in. This is my new bag from Neighborhood Fiber Company. This was a special that they were running that it helps benefit the NFC Momentum Fund. This bag, I did look this morning, is still available on the website. It's a fantastic bag. It is by Birdleg Bags. Let's see if I can get the tag here for you. There you go, Bagoo. It has a pocket on the inside, which is where I'm keeping all of my needles. It has snaps here. It has these handles. It has a crossbody handle, and then also what I have been doing is it's got a snap here so that you can carry it like this with all of this stuff on the inside. Anyway, Neighborhood Fiber Company. I purchased this from them. The design is by knitter and designer and cartoonist Franklin Habit. It was a special edition that they did. I love this bag, and I'm happy to support. I also purchased, they had t-shirts, so I purchased one of the t-shirts as well. You'll probably see me wearing this here shortly. And they also have, they do not have any of the t-shirts left on the website as of this morning. They also have enamel pins, which I have ordered, but has not been shipped yet. I believe there was a delay on the enamel pins. Also from Neighborhood Fiber Company, a few weeks ago, and I ordered my community t-shirt, which I'm thrilled about. This one was back ordered for my size, but finally arrived this week. So that is also from Neighborhood Fiber Company, and also the proceeds from that went to the NFC Momentum Fund. The next one is my Gigi Made It Stand in the Gap shirt. You can see Gigi Made It there. If you're not familiar with Gigi Made It or her idea of standing in the gap, I don't really want to butcher the idea, so please go check out Gigi Made It's YouTube channel, and it's about a 5 to 6 minute video called Stand in the Gap, where she talks about what this means to her. Please go watch it, follow her. She is an excellent knitter and a beautiful speaker, and just a joyous person all around. You can find her on Instagram as @GigiMadeIt as well. So I purchased this from her merch shop, again, Gigi Made It. And I also purchased a couple other things since I was there. She has a whole hashtag of have a fabulous day on purpose, which I love, that whole concept of really focusing on the good in life, but doing it on purpose, not just kind of blindly stumbling along. So I liked that, so I purchased that shirt as well. And then I love Gigi's logo, so I purchased a mug with her logo on it as well. This has already been stolen by my sister, who has a thing for coffee mugs and black and white coffee mugs and just the idea in general. So it's actually still sticky. It had coffee in it. I had to have her dump it out so that I could show it on the podcast. Okay, so that's all of my swag from Gigi Made It. I love Gigi Made It. Go check out her podcast, and specifically the Stand in the Gap video. You will see me wearing this on a number of occasions, but really Stand in the Gap is just a call to action for white people to really put themselves physically and emotionally and mentally in between Black people and the system that is oppressing them. So that's the short of it. Please watch the video and learn more if you haven't. So that is all of my, oh nope, not all my swag. I also purchased a yarn bag. This is from the Naughty Knitting Sacks company. It's this really cute bag with flowers on it. Now, if you're easily offended, please turn away. Naughty Knitting Sacks is known, she's known for these pretty bags on the outside, and then inappropriate, raunchy, funny, hilarious insides on the linings. So I'm going to show you mine. It is filled with cuss words, so I won't say them out loud, but if you're interested, just give you a second to glance at that. Okay. So that's my knotting knitting sack. I've seen these on a couple of other podcasts, and I think it was the Needles at the Ready guys. Last week, they had a coupon code, so I had been looking for a while and kind of stalking the Etsy shop. They had the coupon code, so I went over there and they had this one, and I really just fell in love with it, so I had to get it. So her shop is linked below. Naughty Knitting Sacks. Okay, now that's just the swag. Now I have yarn, lots and lots of yarn. So first up is from Hello Gabriella. Beautiful skein of yarn. She is Gabriella Makes on Instagram. That's how I found her. This is 100% naturally dyed yarn. This one was dyed with sunflower. It's her fingering weight, 100% superwash non-superwash merino. It's 400 yards. And she dyes out of Texas. So I had hoped to get 2 skeins, but her updates go so quickly that I was only able to snag the one. So I think she has another update coming up in the next week or two, and I will be watching out for that so that I can try and grab a second skein, because I'd love to do a 2-color shawl with her yarn. So that's Hello Gabriella And that's the website. I think it's hellogabriella.com, and she's Gabriella Makes on Instagram. Okay, so then I purchased yarn from one of my favorite dyers. This is from Sock Obsession Yarns. Let's show the tag here. I follow them on Instagram, and she had an update, and in the update she had this beautiful skein, and as soon as she showed it, I knew I had to get it. So this one is, sorry, let me read the tag here. This one is Lavendiculous, and this is on her 75-25 superwash merino nylon. It's 463 yards for 100 grams. So I got that skein. And then also on the same base, I got her Bioluminescence, which is just fabulous. I'm not sure what the Lavendiculous will be, but this Bioluminescence will be socks, and it probably will go into the sock bin for next year's Sockathon. Maybe. It's gorgeous. I love it. And then finally from her, I got a skein of her DK. This is 100% superwash merino, bouncy DK, 250 yards for 115 grams. And this is her Clouds and Popsicles colorway. And I'm going to make a newborn baby sweater out of this one. So, I love it. Just those bright pops of speckles, but they're so subtly done. It's fantastic. So that is my Sock Obsession yarn. Then I ordered a sweaters quantity from Pearl Soho because they were having an update, and I've never actually purchased yarn from them. So I purchased 7 skeins, which is of their Posy base from Pearl Soho. It is 75% superwash merino, 15% cashmere, 10% nylon, and the colorway is Pink Nectar. Now on the website, they call this a fingering weight yarn, but this is 318 yards for 100 grams. So to me, that is much more of a very heavy fingering weight or sport weight. So I probably will be looking for sport weight sweater patterns because, again, I have a sweaters quantity. I bought 7 skeins, so I have 2,200 yards of this beautiful merino cashmere nylon blend. So I'm not sure what sweater I'm going to do, but I love the color. I couldn't pass up the sale. I think I saw the sale information over on the Gabriella Makes Instagram, and so I went over, and again, it was 40% off, so I couldn't pass that up, especially on this MCN. Everything was limited colors, so I was able to snag that yarn. I love the color, so that was great, but they only had a handful of colors at the time. I think that sale is over. And my final yarn acquisition is from one of my absolute favorites, Ms. Robin at Teeny Button Studios. She dyes out of New Orleans. I've used her yarn on the podcast before. So I bought 3 skeins, all on her soft sock, which is her fingering weight 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 463 yards for 100 grams. And these were all of her Gilmore Girls sock club this year, and she put them up for sale now that the sock club is over. So this one is Lorelei's Laundry Day. This one is Friday Night Dinners. Love the colors there. And this one is Lazy Hazy Crazy Days of Summer. These are all references to the show Gilmore Girls, which I'm a huge fan of, so I had to purchase all 3. I do have one other skein of her Gilmore Girls yarn in my stash, and I will be knitting these up. I don't know if these will be socks or Sockhead hats or what they're going to be, but I love them, and I couldn't pass them up. So, there we go. That was my last yarn shipment that arrived this week. I do still have outstanding yarn shipments and bag shipments that have not come in yet. They are all from overseas, or Canada and the UK, I guess. So It may be a few weeks before we see those, but that's fine. I need to stop buying yarn and bags and swag. It's just so easy. Okay, so my goals for the week are to really focus on my In the Light shawl and also get my Sockhead Slouch hat done. I did not touch my hipster shawl this week. That was a goal from last week. Didn't happen. So hopefully that will get a little bit of work this week, but I really want to get the In the Light shawl done since that has kind of a deadline if I want it to be for the knit along. That is my main goal for the week. I'm not going to push it. It's going to be a busy week, so we'll see what else happens, but that's what I would like to see get done. And then finally, just this morning, as I was getting ready to film, I was checking my Instagram, and one of my favorite Instagrammers, who is Knit Boop, it's Ura, she posted that she had filmed her first podcast. So I went over right away. It is on YouTube, and I've linked the first episode in the description box below. It is Knitting with Knit Boop, and she posted again her first video. It's about 30 minutes long, and she is actually the person who came up with and is the head of the Quiet Queers Craftalong, and she now designs yarn, and she is also doing her PhD in online crafting communities. So she has a lot of interesting things to say about the crafting community that we're all a part of. So I found her first podcast interesting. I can't wait till she records more. I would definitely highly suggest checking her out, giving her a subscribe and a like. And if you're not following her on Instagram, also check her out there. Again, it's Knitting with Knit Boop, and her online Instagram handle is Knit Boop as well, and that's Ura. And I think that about sums it up for this week. So I hope everybody is having a fantastic day, whatever day you're watching this. And until I see you again, bye.